Welcome to Earthtide Studios. I'm Zach Knight, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my favorite tip to get your vocals sounding super intensely heavy. I'm talking demonically heavy. This is a pitch shifting, format adjusting vocal technique that I've been using on extreme vocals for a while, and I love it. We also have a free vocal production course that teaches you the basics of recording, editing, and mixing your vocals. If you want that, just click the link below. But for now, let's get heavy. So whenever I'm producing extreme vocals, I'd love to have a few tricks up my sleeves, a few little things that I can use to really push the envelope, really make things intense when they need to be, and then just really provide something that's going to be a cool, different characteristic to your average thing that you're going to hear in a heavy production. Now, this is a song off an EP that I did vocal production for a band named Wake the Blind. This is something that I did quite a while ago, but it's probably one of the most extreme vocal productions in terms of intensity and heaviness that I've done. So I figured I would utilize this to show a really good way of taking something that's already super, super heavy and going just that step further into real, I guess you could say, pure insanity. What we're going to do is we're going to have a listen to this. This is the tracking session, so this is not mixed. I didn't do the mixing on this EP. It was done by the incredible Lance Prink. I'm just going to play this for you and we'll have a listen.
In the end, you reap what you sow. You give nothing, you get nothing.
So as you can hear, it's already super, super heavy and really, really intense. The vocalist Dylan is an incredible vocalist. We had such a great time in the studio, just really pushing the envelope and trying to get these vocals pretty crazy. So I'm just going to play it now with the demon screams on, and you'll have a listen to see whether or not you can hear this intensity that I'm talking about that's been added on.
In the end, you reap what you sow. You give nothing, you get nothing.
So let me break down exactly what's going on here. Now, in this particular section here, we've got a lead vocal here on its own that comes up here to the point where it says you get nothing. And that's where everything goes to full stereo. We've got 3 left and rights with different tones so that we can have this blending huge sound. And then down here, we've got these demon screams. And what these actually are is these are actually duplicates of some of the left and rights here. So if we solo these and bypass everything that's actually on each of those channels, they sound exactly the same as what's up here. As you can hear, Dylan already has a really extreme tone to his voice. So this is definitely going to work really well with this technique. So the plugin that's doing the majority of the work to create this demon scream effect is UltraPitch by Waves Plugins. It is a pretty weird and crazy plugin that allows you to do a whole bunch of different stuff with pitch changing and format changing here. I'm running the 6 voices version of this one simply because I wanted to have as much options as possible to be able to make things sound weird and crazy, which is obviously the entire point of what this technique is talking about. You can do this with any format shifting or pitch shifting that you want to. Ideally, using something that has both options in the one plugin would be ideal, like this does. But you definitely could also use stock plugins, or you could do things like pitch a waveform and then print that, adjust the format, print that, then pitch it again, print that, etc. There's a few different ways that you could do it. This is just the way that I have found that works really nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just have a listen to hear what it sounds like with this on. That's insane. I'm going to turn it off so that you can hear the difference. As you can hear, Dylan, the vocalist, has a pretty intense and crazy tone. So, obviously we're starting from a great place to be able to make things sound weird. But this plugin is doing quite a lot of work. Just going to break down what's going on here. So we're not running the direct signal. The reason simply is because this is a duplicate of other takes that are being played at the same time. I don't need the direct signal because I've got that happening already. So what I've got going on here is I've got these 6 different voices that I've chose to add on here, and they are spread out either running centered or left 45, right 45. I don't want them pan all the way. I just wanted to have them just a little bit pan so that I can make things sound a little bit cool in stereo, but not all the way. And there is also a little bit of delay running on these ones just so that I can spread things out and make them sound a little bit uneven and weird and intense, rather than having everything just sort of sitting in the one place and being too nice and easy to work with, because we're trying to make things sound weird and make things sound uneasy. That's the whole point of what this technique is about. Next thing I'm doing here is I'm making some crazy adjustments here with pitch. And when I say crazy, it's actually not that crazy for half of it, because I'm running unison. So this is, unison means the same pitch on 3 of these here. And then from here, I'm running a second up. So 1 semitone. And then I'm running a second down. So another semitone down. So we have, 3 unisons and then 1 semitone up and 1 semitone down. So that's really super unharmonic. We're talking about as unharmonic as you can potentially be within, the sort of normal scales that people are using. And I'm also running a major 6 down from the unison there on this one here, simply because I just like the way it sounded. So there's already some pretty weirdness stuff going on here with these pitch changes, but the majority of the work is actually really happening from the formant changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put all of these back to 0, and it'll be only on this side here. So I'll just take these off. You'll notice that nothing weird is happening right now. It doesn't sound weird at all. Bring the formant back. That's starting to make it weird. This one should make it weirder again. This one's going to do quite a lot. And then we'll do this. You notice how drastic the difference was once you started adjusting the formant here. And definitely when you start adjusting the formant, it allows you to engage, the similarities between what's going on with the pitch changes and the formant changes. But that sounds crazy. It sounds so weird. It sounds so evil. And that's obviously what we're trying to achieve here. So we'll put them all back on again. Now we're going to move on to the next plugin, which is Decapitator. So following along from UltraPitch now, I'm using good old Decapitator. And this one's less of a sneaky technique and more of just a way that I'm going to be making these vocals sound super, super intense. So what we're doing is we're saturating and we're distorting them here, but I'm actually running it only at about 50% mix or so, simply because I want a large amount of that weird formant shifted, pitch shifted, demonic sounding intense vocal coming through without all this extra distortion being added onto it. But I did want to have a little bit on there just because I wanted things to sound super, super intense. So let's just have a listen to what's going on with Decapitator. By the way, we've got the drive running here at 9, so it's pushed pretty hard as much as the mix is rolled back. And we'll turn it off. And just for fun, I'll show you what it would sound like if we put the mix all the way up. As you can see, it's way too much. Not what we need. We'll bring it back down. Sitting much nicer there. And that's something, so with this whole technique with the Demon Screams, what I would do, because this is the production, I would print this with these effects on it and give that to whoever was mixing it, or if I was mixing it, just obviously put it into my mix session. That way they've got this there as something to use to make a certain section or a word super intense. So I'll just jump over to a few other quick sections in this song so that you can hear how I've used it to make certain parts super intense. I think this is in the chorus.
Every single second is this perfect long complete. You know your taste will say, doesn't matter, so we can forget it, don't give up.
So you can see on those sort of key words there, I've duplicated some parts of the main left and rights here and just add them on there and printed them on to do demon screams for that section there. So this is a technique that you can use pretty much anywhere in extreme vocals. It's intended to make things really, really super full on. It's really going to add some extra spice and heaviness to things. You don't have to use it all on scream vocals as well. I've used it on things like whispers or shrieks or gritty style song vocals, things along those lines. Just anything that you want to do to make something sound intense and weird. This is a really, really good way to add an extra depth to your vocal productions and just make stuff sound insane, because who doesn't want a little bit of insanity in their heavy productions? I think it's great.
So there you have it. One little small tip that's going to be able to help your vocals sound super intense and full on. I'd love to hear how you are going to be able to push your vocal productions, because damn, I want to hear some more stuff like that. Don't forget, if you want to level up your vocals, we've got that free vocal production course. But for now, take it easy.
Bye!